Welcome to Look Behind the Look, the celebrated podcast that explores your favorite looks in film, television, and fashion history. Through conversations with the fashion world's elite and award-winning hair, makeup, and costume designers on sets around the world, you will see and hear exciting tales from behind the scenes, career origin stories, and tons of advice and tips. I'm your host, Tiffany Bartok. Hey everybody, welcome to Look Behind the Look, Season 4. Count them, 4. I know, I can't believe it either. We're going back to school with this first episode of the season. I know it's a little early for some of us, especially on the East Coast. We're not in school yet, thank God, not till after Labor Day. But let's get prepared. We are going to be talking about Abbott Elementary. I'm talking with Moira Frazier, who is the department head for hair on this amazing show. Awards aplenty. Moira is now nominated for an Emmy in her category this year, which is so exciting. So we're going to talk about all that she does behind the scenes to make these women beautiful on this show every darn week. She's going to tell us all about Sheryl, Ralph, Quinta Brunson, and Janelle James. And we're going to talk about wigs and waffles, too, from season 1. Yeah, I know you want to know what that is, so you should keep listening. Enjoy.
Ready to take the year on. I've got it down. These first graders won't know what hit them.
That's enough.
Make your voice deeper.
That is enough.
My work here is done, Padawan.
Melissa, we don't have enough kids for a full third grade class, so now they go to you.
Hey, how many extra kids?
10.
I mean, great.
Melissa, are you okay?
Being a teacher is being asked to show up every day and try our best.
Mrs. Howard, Gregory, I'm glad you're in one place. I have an emergency.
What's up?
What's wrong?
Well, here is the thing.
You know I'm out of here.
This food. You eat like you took a cooking class in prison. Just take that.
I am here with Moira Frazier. We're talking about Abbott Elementary, your favorite family show. I don't know if you even have to have a family to watch it, but we as a family watch it. Everybody loves this show. You are up for an Emmy. Congratulations. And tell me all about why, because I've been reading about the 100 wigs you've been collecting. I want to tell everybody about it. I want to talk about Ayo's 2-hour wig situation when you made a wig for her for a 2-hour shoot, right? Tell me the story about her wig.
Okay. First and foremost, she came in at like 5 a.m. and we had to get her ready by 7. And of course I have, over 100 wigs, but there are a lot of duplicates. So that means I have multiples of straight, multiples of curly, multiples of wavy. They're just multiples because you never know what you may need and you can customize it along the way. So for this particular wig that I had, it wasn't as curly as Quinta, the showrunner and creator of the show, needed. And so the only thing that I had available like at 5 a.m., because there's nothing out, there's nothing open. The only thing that I had available was some like bundles of hair. Bundles of hair is basically like hair extensions. Hair extensions on track. So think of like clip-ins, but there are no clips. They're just straight bundles that you would traditionally weave into your hair. And all I had was that, and I had it super, super kinky curly. And what I did was I keep a sewing machine in my trailer for situations like this. I didn't know if I was ever going to use this, but I was like, you know what? Let me whip out this sewing machine. And I grabbed the sewing machine and I grabbed a wig cap and I sewed her a wig in 1 hour, colored it in 30 minutes, and had her ready to go because she was in makeup by this time. Like all this time she was in makeup. By the time she sat in my chair and by the time Quinta approved it, she was ready to go. So the wig did not last 2 hours. I made the wig in less than 2 hours.
Wow. And how long, if you had,
so when she comes back,
well, if you had the luxury, like how long might that take? Like 8, like a day, like how long might that take? Making a wig in this way.
Well, a wig in that way, I mean, well, for me, because I have such experience, I can make that particular wig on a sewing machine in under an hour,
Amazing.
an hour or less. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'm making like a traditional wig like this, like a full lace wig. And this is actually one of the talent on the show.
That's beautiful.
And halfway done. This is a full lace wig.
Wow. And how it's so soft. Look at the hair.
Yeah,
so
something
soft.
like this is going to take about 8 days.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
wow. And you still have it ready for her. So come back, Ayo.
Yeah. And let's be clear, all of my wigs last.
Oh, that's really
They
funny.
last for years. I have to over enunciate and let everybody know that I have never done a wig that lasted 2 hours.
Yeah, let's get it right. Let's get it right.
Let's get it right. My wigs they last a very long time. I have clients, because I do come from a salon. I have clients who worn my wigs and still have my wigs from things that I made them back in 2010, 2011. Wow. So, yeah. I'm like, put some respect on my name, girl. Put some respect on my name.
I'm very glad we have that. We have that right now. Amazing.
Yes, you got the exclusive.
yes. So tell me, how you talked too about how you were building your kit of 100 wigs over this time. So you're ready for this moment because you've got kids, you've got the cast that's changing their hair every day. And that's, I mean, for every scene, for every day in their life that we see, they have new hair. That's amazing. So how did you acquire all of them? Like what was the kit building like? How long did it take?
I mean, it did. It's I would say about 2 years. 2 years to build 100. Yeah, because it's like I would have certain projects where I would, because here's my thing. Being in this industry, I over purchase and overbuy and never return.
Yeah.
So
yes, I can relate to that.
Yeah, because I always find like, okay, well, if I just buy enough of this, I might, if I don't use it now, I'll use it later. There was a wig that we used for teachers conference. It was like a gray wig. Yeah, teachers conference. Remember that line where they had said, it was the Sheminti sisters and they were getting into it with one of the teachers and said, well, that's why your hair looked like it came from Beetlejuice. So you got a Beetlejuice hairstyle. So I literally had a random gray wig, it was so random because I never thought we would use it, but I just always had it. And I literally had a random gray wig lying around because it was like that's the look. That's the look that we want. So it is good to build your kit with an array of things. Now, like I said, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. The line, did the line come first or the wig come first? For the
line came first.
I love it. That's amazing.
It comes first.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay, cool.
It all starts on paper.
So now let me, the question that this is my son has some questions for you. Is Barbara's wig always the same? He wants to know, is Barbara's wig always the same? And how many wigs do you go through with Janelle? He wants to know all about Ava. All about Ava's.
Oh my God. Okay, so we like to keep. Okay, you want to start with Barbara or Ava?
Yes. Let's start with Barbara. I feel that'll be a little easier.
Yes. So Barbara never changes. Barbara is that type of person whose hair stays the same because of her character. She has to have that consistency because that's who she is. She's Barbara. But Ava, so we wanted to keep her within a realm of 4 main wig base looks. So there's 4 wigs that we always interchange with, but we style them differently.
Okay.
So you got your super, super long, and then you got your wavy, and then you got your mid, and then you have your curled, and then you have your highlighted. So for this year, we kind of wanted to keep switching it up, but keep it switching up between the 4 wigs so we can have an array of different looks as far as hairstyles is concerned.
Amazing.
Now for the holiday episode, that was actually 2 wigs. So, that's a little behind the scene, like little tea.
Tell me the story.
So originally we were going to do like all up, but at the very last minute, we decided that it's best to do half up, half down.
Okay.
And it was a decision that was made literally at the last minute, but it was okay because it worked out and it looked amazing. And she bodied that whole look. And it was a dope experience. But what happened was I had already started with the front half. So I have what's called frontals, and I already put the frontal on. And then I'm like, okay, well, shoot, this is taking way longer than I was hoping it was going to be. So I'm like, okay, I got to think fast. And I had one of my assistants, Dustin Osborne, my team. My team is a bad team. Dustin Osborne, good isn't good.
Yeah, of course.
I got to specify nowadays. Abbott says she has a bad team. No. I have the best team ever. Bad as in slang.
My God.
But no, Dustin Osborne, Christina Joseph, they are amazing. And they thought quick with me. They went and rummaged through all those wigs, grabbed a wig. I folded it in half and plopped it down. And baby, she was looking laid. And that was for the holiday episode.
Oh my goodness. I mean, she's had a little bit of a glow up here. So are you working that in? I mean, how did that come about? Because she's looking so good. She always looked so beautiful. But did you work that into her storyline at all? Or was this just something that's going on?
Ava, listen, everyone's character this season had to have that character shift as far as evolution is concerned.
Right.
Because the way that first of all, we all know after a summer break, when you go back to work and work with your coworkers, you want to look good.
Yes.
You want to make sure your hair is done, whether it's a little highlight there or you let your hair grow or you're doing a little bit something different.
Yes.
Ava always has to go back like new Ava, new me, but still me. And I'm that girl. She got to have that Beyonce vibe. And that is exactly what she has. And she brings that with this character. She makes it so easy for us to explore so many other options with her. So
wow. You guys must have so
Yes, you must have so much fun. What's like some of the funny things that you can think of, or is it just like, do you take it for granted at this point? Never. You never take it for granted.
Gosh, no, we're like a family. Like
Yes.
I remember first season, we were like literally double dutching on set.
Aw.
Like that's just what we do.
Aw.
Yes, and then first season was last season, which was season 2. I kind of didn't do it as much, but first season I used to have this thing called wigs and waffles, where I would make everybody like waffles, and I called it wigs and waffles because most of the people I was making waffles for wore wigs.
Wait a minute, this needs to be a thing. You heard like this. This I love.
Season 1, honey, was wigs and waffles. So when they come to our trailer, they know they're gonna get that good waffle. And it was smothered in butter, honey. You didn't even need no syrup for my waffles.
I want some wigs and waffles. Now,
I had to make it fun.
yes, I'm coming. I was talking to the Bear team too, and I wanted to definitely get the same kind of information from you about the difference between the first season and the second season. So like when you're a part of something this successful, you know what I mean? Like, how do you, like, for the Bear, we were talking about how you keep it simple. Like you have to remember that these are the same people. Yes, we are greenlit. We're successful. We're getting all the awards, but you still have to go back and remember that these are the same people that were in season 1, and they, you know, are normal people that we're working with. How did you remain consistent like that? Like, was that something you talked about, or how did Quinta deal with the
really,
success?
it's really it's an unspoken thing.
Yeah, right.
You
Okay.
gotta really know. Like you have to understand that everybody goes through how can I explain it? They go through different changes and journeys. And at the end of the day, the most important thing people want is to have solid people around them and solid people that's not gonna change up. Me personally and my team, like, of course, the success of the show is like absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, you still have to remain humble. And I've always kept a humble approach. My team has always kept a humble approach because you just have to, because you can be here today and there tomorrow. You know what I mean? And you just never know. So you always have to treat people kind and treat people with respect and treat people with dignity, because at the end of the day, you just never know when, someone might elevate and, you just really never know. So I think for us and our team, and also the show, everyone has been so supportive of each other and just grateful to be along the journey that we just stay true to ourselves. And that's what's most important in this industry, is staying true, staying authentic, and staying solid.
Yes. That's really beautifully said, because I think that's why things have longevity and like how it works. Because once you start giving into all the talk too, like, let's do this now and let's do that now, it's a bad trap.
Switch it up and do this. And it's like, once you start switching things up, and it's okay for growth and it's okay to add.
Well, you were talking about evolution. That's
it's okay to have. It's important, but at the same time, you still want to stay solid regardless of what may happen. You cannot have like hard feelings about, oh, well, this didn't happen this way and that didn't, or why they acting weird. Like, no, they've elevated. No one's acting any type of way. You have to, when you're in new territories, such as, what we're in right now, you have to hold yourself with a level of dignity and integrity. And you also have to circle real tight, because everybody trying to pierce the circle and get in, and what's this, what's that, and like,
tell me about that. Did that happen for you? Like, was it like, oh, I'm plugging away, I'm doing this, and then, oh yeah, my show's an overnight success? Not really. You worked your butts off. It was a completely exactly. And then everybody's knocking on your door, and how do you deal with that?
Well, it's like, I think for me, everyone knocking on my door was more as a support.
Oh, good.
Like,
oh, good.
And that's what I loved about it. And when I say support, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I remember when you started. Like that's what I mean about the knocking on your door.
That's
because
wonderful.
Everyone came with such positive vibes, and it has been so positive throughout like the whole show, the run of the show, even when the show is airing. And like, even now, just to be nominated for an Emmy, it feels amazing to know the support that you have with my family all the way in Ohio, my whole city behind me.
You're thinking to have a parade? Ohio, a parade, please.
Yes, come on, parade. But yes, my whole city. I'm originally from Toledo, Ohio. So
I was just there. What?
Shut up.
Okay,
wait. Did you go to Gino's?
I saw Gino's. I didn't go. Is that bad? Oh no.
Okay. Did you go to Rudy's Hot Dog?
No, I went on the water and to a Mexican restaurant. Please tell me how to do it right. You have to tell me how to do it right.
Sam,
okay, honestly, I didn't really go to Toledo then. I didn't count.
Okay, when you go to obviously there's so many different areas in Toledo that you can do. You can always do the Tony Pacos. You can go down there and get the infamous Tony Pacos. But the gyms in Toledo, you gotta get a Gino's pizza.
Okay.
You gotta get a Gino's pizza. Number one. Number two, you gotta get a Netty. You gotta go to Netty's. Netty's got these freezes. It's called a Netty's freeze, and it's mixed with ice cream and slush. And
like Rita's.
Together.
Okay.
Made it. Yeah, girl. So go to Nettie's, get you a
wanna go right
Nettie's,
now.
and then go to Geno's. And then I mean, a lot of people may not like Rudy's hot dog. I personally like Rudy's hot dogs, but Nettie's is also famous for their chili dogs. So you gotta go there.
Nettie's is?
for that.
Okay. All right.
Nettie's. So
Okay.
Nettie's is good. Nettie's is known for their chili dogs and their chili dogs and their slushes and their ice cream. And a lot of people will tell you when you go to Nettie's, like, make sure you get everything. Me, I always add a little cheese to mine. I'm just, I like cheese.
Tell me which episode you submitted for the Emmy. Which episode was it?
You did episode 19.
Okay.
Which was a festival episode.
Okay. Fantastic. And then what goes into picking that? I always am fascinated to talk to people about like that process of submitting it for the Emmys. And what did you think? What about it was like, okay, this is the one we're going to do?
So honestly, when I went into picking an episode, I wanted to pick an episode that represents our entire team and represents the work that we put in throughout the season in one episode.
Yes. Yes.
Kind of sucks that Emmys make you pick one episode instead of the body of the work.
I know.
But I wanted to pick an episode that we were all able to shine in, because I mean, even though I am the department head and the leader of the team and all that great stuff and the visionary, at the end of the day, I wanted my team to shine just as much as I am. So I wanted to pick that episode where everybody's hair was on point. That we had a very big episode. I got to go back to see exactly how many people we had, because I know we had over 200 people. And that was with children, with parents. We had people being in the dunk tank, so we had to deal with that. Then the challenge of making, even Jacob's hair, making him look like he got dunked and look like he was wet, like the whole, and making him. There was a moment where he had to look like he was dry but not dry.
Okay,
so like that. But I love that we were all able to come together, and I have a very good support system from my local union, 706, because I was able to bring in my barbers or any barber that, we have an access of barbers. I was able to bring in them and all the day players that worked that particular episode. So that's why I wanted to do that. I could have submitted any episode where it was just, me and my team. But I wanted to include everyone as much as I could, as far as the body of work is concerned.
That's great. That's great. Oh, when you saw dunk tank in the script, you were like, no. Can it be something? Can it be full of foam? Like the foam, when they have like foam pieces and they dunk you instead? No.
Yeah. I was like, man, we gonna do water? Okay, well, let's do water. But I love it. It worked out good. It worked out amazing. And it was
episode.
It was
yes.
And it showed like everyone just showed up that episode.
Yes.
And their hair just spoke volumes that episode, especially with like Ava. Ava was acting like the host that episode. She was like, okay, well, we got here, we got that person there, and this is what we're doing, guys. We're gonna save Abbott. So it just felt like the best episode to submit for our season.
That's I feel like watching it again now that you mentioned it. It was so cute. Now, wait, okay, let's talk about there's two more things I want to talk to you about, and they're kind of big. So let's talk about diversity and where you see it going and how you've seen it change in the time that Abbott's come on the scene. So what was the year that you began working on Abbott? What year was that? Do you remember? 2020?
That was 2001.
Okay. 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, so now we're in 2023. So that's 3 years. That's 3 years to see how the industry has sort of embraced diversity. But have you seen a big change? Is it happening? Let's be honest. Like, what's happening?
I've seen, with our show has always been diverse.
Of course.
We have,
thank God,
in front of the camera and also behind the camera.
Right.
We have a very good, diverse team, and other teams are just as diverse as our team is, which is why I love my job.
Yeah.
I love Abbott because we're able to, I love the diversity part, because at the end of the day, diversity matters.
Yes.
Clearly. And representation is even more important.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, you know, just being a Black woman in this industry, it sometimes is very hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the journey. But I'm so grateful and thankful for all the opportunities that I have been given, and I'm able to give other people because of that. So I'm able to reach back and say, hey, come on, girl, or come on, guy, or whoever, you know, like, let's work, let's do the work. But as far as diversity in our industry, period, I am seeing a lot of it.
Good.
I am. And I know that there's still some, you know, some barriers that still need to be broken.
Of course.
But as if I ever have, you know, a hand in it, or if I'm ever in a position, like on another show or anything else, I'm going to always make sure that I have a diverse team, period. It's just important. And it's important to know that, you know, wherever or whoever you have on your team, they have to be well-rounded and be able to do everybody's hair texture. You gotta have the education. You can't just say, oh yeah, I do textured hair. And then I'm like, okay, great. So I need you to do like 4 braids on this girl. And they're like, wait, what? I don't braid. Like, what? Because though that actually goes into that. Yeah. Because as a Black woman, we don't wear our hair just curly. We don't wear our hair just one way. Right. We wear braids, we wear weaves, we wear everything. We wear clip-ins, we straighten our hair, we curl our hair, we do a lot of different things. So just from a Black woman's perspective, you have to be knowledgeable of all types of hair to make sure that you're keeping the health of the hair. That's That's why I became a cosmetologist.
Right. That's a good point. The health of the hair. Yes. And then tell me where you see, let's talk about the strike, because I want everybody to understand what's going on out there who's listening. Because sometimes, believe it or not, people who are not in the industry listen. Hi, Aunt Cindy. And can you tell us about what's happening with the strike, how we can support crews that are out of work? Because the thing that I want people to realize is that it is SAG and the writers that are negotiating. It is not you guys. So you're just out of work. So you're not choosing this. You didn't choose this necessarily. You support, of course, the other unions in solidarity, but also by default, because you can't go to work. So how are you being supported? What can we do? What links can we go to? And what do we want to see happening?
Well, first and foremost, I can speak you can go online and purchase my products.
Amazing. And what are you holding there?
Oh, I'm holding my moisture cream. I actually use this on the show. So I use this. So these are the 2 products that I use on my show, as well as others. But these are the stars of the show.
And what's the spray?
Hair. So the spray is actually what we do to keep our clients' hair healthy.
Okay.
And we keep their wigs down. We don't use glue unless we have to. Okay. Unless we have to, guys. But I use my lace lock melting spray. The lace lock melting spray is a temporary hold because, as you know, and when you're doing wigs and things of that nature, it's a daily thing with us.
Yes.
And they're not going to wear these character wigs home. So we put the wig on in the morning, and by, you know, the wrap of the day, which can be a 18-hour day, depending on how long we're there. Mainly a 16-hour day, if that, sometimes 10, sometimes. So it just depends. It can be a long day. We just remove with water and it protects their hair.
Okay.
So that's what we use on the show. That's the main thing we use. Everyone loves it. You know, and this season I'll be introducing my lace lock glue to them this year, but I do have that, and that's sweat proof, waterproof, all of that. But yeah, go to the links. That's how you can support the people who ain't working.
Yes.
But just to touch light on the strike, basically, for those who may not know, the writers, everything starts on paper. Okay. I'm not a writer, so I don't necessarily know the ins and outs of everything. the ins and outs of what their contract is. But what I do know is that they need to be paid fairly. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, residuals are important. My husband is in the music industry, so I understand what those publishing checks are. I understand what those residual checks are, because let's be honest, when the industry back in the day, and I'm speaking on music, when the industry went from having CD sales and physical sales to where we're getting really big residual checks, it went to streaming. And streaming's great for us. But you know, it's like you gotta have like 1 billion streams to see a $1 million check, or a $500 check, or $5,000. It's
Of
like
course.
you gotta have so many. The song really has to blow up in order for you to see anything. And the same thing that happened to the music industry is what's happening to the writers. That's why you're seeing all these actors now, and you know, posting their checks for 0.26, 25 cents and 0.00 and things like that. My husband had got a check for 30 cents.
Yeah.
And he produced it. I'm like, what? But that's what's happening. And
this is so well explained. This is the perfect analogy. Yes.
And like I said, I'm not a writer, so I don't know the ins and outs of it, because I know it has to deal, you know, they're fighting for more things than just the pay. There's so many other things that they're fighting for. You have, and even with the actors, you have to work. No, you have to get paid you have to get paid, from what I'm told, like at least $26,000 just to qualify for health care. And it's just like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Because some actors don't make that. Yeah. That's why they're waitressing. That's why, remember how all of these actors started, the ones that are big right now, they all started with a lot of different side jobs until they got that one big gig. So they're all, if they don't fight now, it's gonna mess it up for those in the future and those that's coming after us now, or after them. Now, as far as we're concerned, I stand in solidarity with the writers, because guess what? It all starts on paper.
Yes.
In this industry, it starts with the script. Every single hairstyle that I create, I sit there and I look at that script and I dissect that script. And then I go to the writers. I go to the person who wrote it and say, what did you feel when you wrote this about this particular character? What's that character's mind frame? It's a science to it. And it should never be taken for granted. It's not just plopping on a short wig on Barbara, or plopping on a wig on Janine, or switching out Ava's wigs. It really boils down to the psyche of the character when it was written by the writer. Right. And it all starts with them. And then the actor carries it out. And then that's where I come into play, and the makeup team and whoever comes into play, as far as creating this character and bringing that vision to life. That's why you'll never see me put like a blonde Halle Berry wig on Janine, because it's not Janine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So all of this stuff makes sense. And it's like, what was it saying? I don't remember, but you got, it's a team effort. I thought it was a little I or a big U or something like that. You can't, everybody has to be, it's more so on the equal playing field. And at the end of the day, everyone is on strike. Well, as far as the writers and the actors, and it affects us. It affects the makeup team. It affects the makeup artists. It affects the wardrobe. It affects the grips. It affects the lighting people. It affects transpo. It affects our entire industry, from grips down to the caterers, down to the janitors, down to the people who come and just fill in the water for your refrigerator. It affects everybody. So for someone like me who comes from an entrepreneurial world and have an entrepreneurial mindset, I had to try to shift and be like, okay, well, even though we're not working right now, how can I still be able to support my family? Or, how can we shift during this particular difficult time? Right. A lot of hairstylists and a lot of makeup artists, a lot of people are losing their homes, they're losing their apartments, they've had to relocate, they are losing their health insurance. That's another big thing. They're losing their health insurance hours because for us, we have to work at least 400 hours to qualify for health. And if you haven't worked since February, if you haven't worked since January, if you haven't worked since March, here we are, September, and it's still shut down.
Wow, yeah.
So that kind of hits heavy across the board. So it's like, okay, well, if we're not working, we got to figure it out. So some people had to relocate. They had to move. Some people are working at like a Trader Joe's just to make me. Some people had to get, on like food stamps, had to go get food stamps and had to go get, unemployment. And unemployment ain't paying enough.
I know.
So it's like, it's not like they're giving us stimulus checks.
Exactly. It's not the pandemic. Yeah.
It's not the pandemic, but I will say that even though everyone is in this trying time right now, because it is a trying time for our entire industry, it's a pivotal moment, but it is a trying time too. We still stand in support and we still stand in solidarity. And throughout all of that, we do have like our IATSE and other unions have come together to still help each other.
Yes.
So like IATSE is doing like food giveaways. Our union, I think, was doing a food giveaway, and we are still helping each other. So those who have a little more than those who don't, we still find ways to help. Yes. And still find resources to give. So we're scratching, but we want to go back to work. So I hope that they come to an agreement that's reasonable for everybody. So we know that's reasonable and fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, that was the best strike church I have been to. That was amazing. They need to put you on a panel.
Girl. Just give me some bullet points and I'll talk them down.
I love it because you are explaining it in the most basic terms, and instead of all this like word salad of like AI and those things are all on the table, but it confuses people, when you get into the nitty gritty. It's basically all the things you are saying first, that are dire.
That's first and prime. That's first and primary.
Yes.
But the fact in the idea, I haven't even touched on AI. The fact in the idea that how much damage that AI could do to our industry.
I know. It's so
and
scary.
I just don't think people really understand that.
No.
We understand
no.
We get it. We get the damage. The writers get the damage. The actors get the damage. The things that they're asked, like the AI thing, that girl, honey, that's a whole other beast.
Yeah.
That's one of the bigger beasts.
Yeah.
And, because that's such a really, really big thing that people don't know. Because, of course, the average person who's not in the industry, they're like, well, what's wrong with this? I don't know.
It's fun. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's fun until, you didn't go, you're not the one who went to school to be a writer.
Right.
So, then you're replaced with a machine.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? A 6-year-old can write a script. You're not the one that has to experience that. They are. And as far as the actors are concerned, to sit here and be digitally scanned to be duplicated for all of eternity. So when you move on and pass on and transition into like, transition meaning you pass away and you die, they're still using your likeness to make it whatever they want. That could possibly tarnish.
I think they even term it legacy, so it sounds noble.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, did Terminator want us? Did the Matrix want us?
We're gonna have to start printing out those terms and agreements.
From what one term that they use, what perpetuity? I can't even say the word.
In perpetuity.
Perpetuity. And that sounds like
forever.
Perpetuity throughout the universe.
I know.
So it's like not even just Earth. If we all go to Mars, we're going to use your likeness.
100%. Once we set up there, we'll be living forever in Mars.
Right. But it's like, if we don't fight now and get a hold of it now, it's going to be hard for the next generation.
Oh, yes.
And the next generation and the next generation. So you have to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. So that's just kind of where
100%.
we are. But we going to have to thug through it.
100%.
We're going to have to bind together and figure it out as far as survival mode is concerned until we all can get back to work. And I know that everybody is not able to, have products or had a product that they can just keep pushing and things like that. I understand that. So I sympathize with people who only know how to just, who only know what they know, which is going to work. That's all they know. That's all I knew. You know what I mean? Before I was a cosmetologist and I had a salon and things of that nature, before that, I was like 16 years old working at the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And that was, I hadn't worked a 9 to 5 in years,
Yeah.
My 9 to 5 was Abbott.
Yeah. I mean, I know. Yes.
Yeah. So it's
right.
just one of those things.
Moira, that was all such great explanation that I'm going to put the links to everything that we can buy from you. That's exciting. Who doesn't want the stuff that's on that set? I mean, come on. And I mean, that's amazing. And I'm going to Toledo. I'm calling you. And I'm going to Toledo and going to Gino's.
Yes, girl. Let's go get that Gino's pizza.
I loved talking to you. I wish you the best of luck. While we wait for the strike to come to an agreement, we know we're going to manifest that everybody on strike is coming to an agreement with the powers that be. It's all going to happen. We're going to get you that Emmy, and we're going to head right into season 3. It's all happening. We're going to just manifest all of that, and we're all going to buy your hair care. And it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. We're going to get through this fall, and we're going to get to 2024 guns a-blazing. So I'm so happy to have talked to you today, Moira. Thank you so much.
Look Behind the Look is a Vinyl Foot production, written by me, your host, Tiffany Bartok, produced by Jace Bartok, edited by Evan Rivard. If you're interested in learning more, find our video version on the YouTube channel, Look Behind the Look Podcast. There you can see rare photos and clips from our guests. And please follow us on Twitter at LookBehindPod and Instagram at LookBehindTheLook. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe. And tell your friends and spread the word. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or any podcatcher of your choice. Thanks for listening to Look Behind the Look.